the Steel Warner. I am joined by Alex Packard Diehard Hagenbach, also affectionately known as, is it TJ? People call you
Uh,
TJ
only literally
in your
Garrett
in your.
calls
I
me
was like,
TJ.
apparently I heard people in your chapter
Well,
call you that.
Garfield Juice also was from my chapter, so the two of them would call me that. But
Excellent. Well,
yeah, I don't know
well
why
here
that started, but that's the thing.
that is a thing. Here we are. It is time for playoff League of Legends. I'm super excited. Tonight we have Heroes of the Storm facing off against Literal Team Name in the Gold Division quarterfinals. Uh, Alex, what's going on with you, my man?
Uh, I am just excited to have something going on that will distract me from Corona. So everybody's
Exactly.
locked inside their homes, staying safe. This is the best time for some brotherly competition. So I'm
Definitely. Definitely a perfect time for some nice social distanced online video game competitive play. Um,
yeah.
so I'm still waiting for a pick band link to be dropped in the lobby of the game.
It
Oh,
was in
there it
there.
is. It's
Yeah, it was
perfect.
farther
All
up.
right.
They haven't started yet though.
I gotta scroll up, and here we go. Perfecto.
We're just waiting for Elliot to be done in the bathroom.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Um, my man Elliot is oh, it looks like he was all done in the restroom, and here we go. Starting off
All
with
right.
pick bands. Literal team name on the blue side. Going to go ahead and ban Olaf away from the aforementioned Elliot, playing in the jungle on the summoner name Eruyan.
Yeah, definitely a champion that he's done and is comfortable on. Just some comfort picks here being banned for sure.
We are blasting through. Here's the Storm taking away the Syndra from literally Nate, and literal team name doing the exact same, taking away a comfort champ from now the now named Tom Nook, the Cassiopeia, and the Alawi coming out against literally Kamish.
Yeah, no real surprises. Tom Nook now extremely good on the Cassiopeia.
Yep.
And the
Set
same thing on the
set
other
the
side for literally Kamish there
yeah
for
setting
Lowry.
the single game kill record earlier this season on the Cassiopeia. Tom Nook,
Yep.
previously known as Hoagie, previously known as a million different names, and
Yep.
we have the set coming out first pick for the side of literal team name set. Probably going to be played by literally Kamish in the top lane.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, a huge power pick coming through, and you typically assume it is top lane, but it is definitely a good flex. It
Yep.
can be done support as well. So it'll be interesting to see if they try to flex things around.
We've seen it in the jungle as well, set being played all over the place. Heroes of the Storm not wasting any time with their first two picks, coming through with the Swain Jin, literal team name, responding right away with the Misfortune Leona. So we might be looking at set bot lanes here for both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Swain been a little bit more of a support laner lately, but can also be played mid or top if you really wanted to. So, uh, yeah, we know that. uh, I think he meant. Sorry, I'm kind of talking with Stuart off stream a little bit.
We have our
It's fine.
producers in our ear giving us
Yeah.
information. So if we sound like we're
I'm
talking to
I'm being a
ourselves,
jerk as usual.
we're actually talking to our lovely streamer and casting producer here. So
Yeah. Anyway, on to the second round after the last pick Trundle there for HOTS, assuming jungle.
yeah, I like the Trundle pick there. It's a very safe jungle. Not many things counter it. It can go pretty well into the misfortune. You can just pillar interrupt the barrage, the misfortune ultimate. Um, some interesting bans coming through. Looks like literal team name just trying to ban out the support pool, but the
Yeah.
Lulu is really a Tom Nook special. So maybe trying to
Right.
avoid that Lulu mid. Maybe not respecting the Swain support. But again, both of those champions, the Lulu and Morgana, could be played mid as well.
Yeah. They did HOTS bans Jace there, just covering in case they wanted to flex set to the jungle. Jace is a huge pick for the early commish, so they were respecting another ban that way.
The Echo pick coming through, I'm going to assume that that's a pick for literally Nate in the mid lane. Been known to play it a little bit, and I have not known literally Mike to play that in the jungle. Although Echo jungle is pretty spicy and would love to see it in this game. I'm going to go ahead and assume that that's a mid lane, and we should be seeing a jungle pick here. Or not.
We might have to check to see if that
Oh.
is a
Yeah. Let's
misclick.
Mord. Okay, so that was a Mord. Oh, you know what?
Okay.
Oh, this might be spicy. This There's a possibility that this is a set jungle.
Yeah, definitely. It's not impossible to jungle with Mordekaiser, but I think Set was definitely more viable in the
You're
jungle than
I think
Mordekaiser is.
I think your options are set top, Mord mid, Echo jungle, which I don't think it is, just based on knowing literally Mike's champ pool. If literally Mike is playing in the jungle, your second option is Echo mid, Mord top, set jungle.
Yeah, definitely.
Come on, I won't hurt you. I promise.
Packer Diehard 12.
Ooh, gotta have the 12 in there.
Yeah, that's right.
So
We did have the last pick Malzahar there, so that does confirm that it is a Swain support. Swain is something that Tom Nook has played in the past, so that could have been flex mid lane. But of course, that will be a support since we see the Malzahar there last pick for Heroes of the Storm.
yeah. So just looking at the pick ban here and looking at these drafts, talk us through what you think goes through the minds of each team. In their minds, what is their win con? What are they trying to do here?
Well, when I look at literally team name, everything to me screams pretty solid front to back, mostly team fight, other than Echo. He's a little bit more of a flank slide lane guy, but like MF, Leona, Mordekaiser set all just want to, especially the Mordekaiser set Leona, like the three of them is a huge beefy front line there that can get in and cause some havoc while MF just blasts from the back line. And then you can have Echo flanking, or you can do a 4-1 really easily with the Echo on the side lane. So, meanwhile, on the other side, I'm thinking a little bit more Heroes of the Storm wants to keep things a little bit more spread out. They have a lot of pick potential. I think, well, being able to lock single people down with like Malzahar and Jin does a huge amount of single target burst damage. Swain can help lock people down as well. So not as much of a straight like front to back as far as Heroes of the Storm is concerned, especially when you have like a Renekton who wants to be a little bit more of a threat in the side lane. Especially early in the game as a bully there on the Mordekaiser most likely, but we'll see how that goes. Using their really long range, like the Swain, Jin long range abilities to make picks and stuff like that on people that are caught out of position, and then look to contest once they make a pick rather than just lining up as 5.
Never look back.
Sounds about right. In your mind, who won this draft? Who comes out ahead just in draft alone?
I recommend pitching.
I really there's a lot of comfort. I think on a lot of these guys' picks, so people are going to be feeling pretty comfortable. It really is going to come down to, I think, mid game, like macro, how they're playing the side lanes and how they're setting up their objectives. If whoever is able to set up properly is definitely going to have the upper hand. whichever is able to execute in the mid game. I honestly think it's. I do kind of like. I think literally team names comp is easier to execute, where you just are basically running at them with your front line and then just trying to beat them down. It's a little bit easier, I think, to execute on.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like their champions. I'm gonna lean in that direction, but honestly I think it's really close.
Yep. I agree. Both teams looking like they've set up decent comps that they're comfortable with. Chat, go ahead and toss in your votes. Hashtag LTN. Hashtag HOTS, Heroes of the Storm. Who do you think's going to win? Just a couple of things to point out. We are seeing a little bit of some lane swaps with literal team name. A little bit confused as to who is running what. Now we've seen literal Mike mostly in the jungle this season. Picking up the Leona, looks like he's going back onto support, a role that he played mainly last split when he was on Tom Nook's team. And we might be seeing literally Nate in the jungle with that Echo. So maybe trying to strategize a little bit for playoffs here, swapping some roles a little bit to maybe find something that's a little bit more comfortable. Now, literally, Mike has not been terrible in the jungle. He's not been bad in the jungle this season, but definitely not his most comfortable role. So I think good on literal team name putting him back onto a comfort pick and a comfort role with the Leona, and someone else kind of picking up the jungle here. So we'll see if it's literally Kamish or literally Nate in the jungle once we get into the loading screen and we can see summoner spells.
Yeah, actually, so to me, the biggest surprise out of all that is just seeing literally Garrett. I mean, I don't know if he like did any swapping with Mike earlier in the split, but seeing Garrett on anything other than support is pretty different. I think he's played like a little bit of top lane in normal games here or there. But yeah, seeing him not on support is definitely something that he just very rarely not do that. So
looking at season stats, it does appear that for weeks 9 and 10, literally Mike was back on the support role, while literally Garrett was jungle in week 9, and it looks like they had a substitute in the jungle week 10.
Okay, yeah. See that? I could have done a little bit of homework myself there to see that. But especially jungling is something that I don't think I had ever personally seen literally Garrett do, like literally ever. So that is a bit of a surprise, but
and to be fair, in week 9 he played Poppy and Ornn jungle, so not your ideal jungle champion. So I don't know. I mean, it might be spicy to pull out the Mordekaiser jungle. It might not be. I personally, being a jungle main, I personally would not pull that pick out, nor would I want my team's resident Mord main saying, "Hey Neil, let me jump in the jungle with this Mordekaiser." But you never know. Sometimes it is PMA LCS. We are known for bringing out all kinds of spicy picks. Definitely some weird stuff going on.
Hey, I will say, last split, I subbed a ton for Mudkip's team, who also had Juice by Daddy on it. You're talking about our own resident Mordekaiser player, and he did play Mordekaiser jungle because he was the jungler on that team, and he did pretty good most of the time on it. I will say that right now, I don't. I will say right now, I don't think it's a great top of the meta jungle pick, but I'm just saying some people have done it to success in the past.
All right, that's fair.
By the way, when I'm saying that I'm just super surprised seeing Garrett jungle, I'm in no means throwing any flame. I'm just saying it's just something I have not seen before.
It is,
and it's surprising.
We are getting in the Mordekaiser jungle. I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited to see this Mordekaiser jungle. I just haven't seen it a whole lot. Looking at the skinergy, looks like we only got 3 skins per team. that's kind of BM. If you shut off the stream now, I don't blame you. Nobody wants to watch teams that don't have skins. I mean, what are these guys doing? So
yeah, I think you can give literally Kamish a little bit of slack there because Set is a new champ and he only has like one skin. But everybody else, I mean, come on.
yeah, Tom Nook with the no Malzahar skin. I'm shocked and disappointed. Same with Big Dioc Jimmy. You know, no Renekton skin. Big Dioc, Big Dick, however you want to say it. This is a family-friendly stream, so at least we can mask. Maybe the kids don't know what a Dioc is. So we are just about in game. We're gonna pause at 10 seconds. The old PMA LCS special. As soon as we get loaded in here. Some of us are still at 98%. Maybe you're sitting at 100%. It's Riot. The client has been absolutely atrocious since coronavirus because everyone is at home playing League of Legends.
All right, looks like we're loading the Rift.
And I am paused at 10.
I am also paused at 10.
So as soon as our producer gives us the go-ahead, we will get started here.
All right. Let me rearrange everybody's tab. I don't bamboozle myself. All right.
Welcome to Summoner's
So far we're looking like we are seeing just a standard 5-point mirror from both sides. No cheese. Kind of liking hoping maybe a little bit of cheese for the first round of playoffs, but now that we're into playoffs, I think they're like, nope, we got to play serious. It's 5-point.
Yeah, exactly. And we got some wards coming down in the Pixel Bush. Literal team name is very aware that that is warded. But we're going to see a red side start for Mordekaiser. It looks like we're going to see a blue side start for Iruyan. So they're going to be matching each other, mirroring each other in the jungle, which means we might see some spicy stuff level 3 in top lane.
Very true.
We shall see.
Yep. I was wondering if anybody was going to try to drop the early ward in back for the sweeper, but not done for either side. So
the Tyler 1 special, if you've been watching his unranked to challenger climb, he does it every single game, and just a good thing to do as a jungler. A lot of junglers just starting with sweeper and foregoing that initial ward anyway.
Yeah. Alright, so we saw literally Kamish there won out a big trade with the Haymaker, I think. Is the W? I don't know his abilities by name. Well, I guess I know at least one of them.
And literally Garrett going buff to buff. So he's got the inside track for maybe a gank top lane with big Dioc Jimmy being a little bit low from those trades. Ruyan just now getting to the top side after full clearing his bot side.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to take a pause at 2:45.
Me too. Alright, sorry we had that extra pause in there. Like you were saying, both junglers are in the top side, but literally Garrett putting a ward down. Now he goes up and he's going to see the Trundle. Going to back off. They're fighting now. Trundle is down the pillar. There's a lot of damage coming out from both of them right now. They get the Conqueror on both. They're both super low. Literally Commission's here. Jimmy goes over the wall and gets the first blood with the Ignite. Literally Nate now is chasing down onto Trundle. Meanwhile, we're actually going to go bot side, says directed camera, for a little bit of a trade there onto literally Stewart. So we didn't see the end of that skirmish, but it was a 1-for-0 Big Diok Jimmy on the Croc.
Yeah, Big Diok Jimmy just getting the getting the inside track. Let's pause at 340. It's having a little bit of some stream issues. Sorry folks. Big Diok Jimmy getting the inside track on the priority in top lane. Both junglers just kind of looking to position themselves for Scuttle Crab. Still at 340.
340. Okay.
Unpause now. Big Diok Jimmy just getting the inside track and the priority there, able to come down, dash through the wall, apply the ignite, and get that first kill. Literally, Kamish, even though winning out on those early trades, just letting the wave push back towards him, ultimately his jungler pays the price there.
Yeah.
And interesting for Aruyan to take the Conqueror on Trundle as opposed to the somewhat standard press the attack, able to kind of sustain that fight out a little bit longer than if Trundle had the PTA. So
yeah, I was literally just about to say that.
Literally?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to stop saying literally, since there's...
We're gonna be saying it a lot, so just embrace it.
Just don't do it on vlog.
And some sums traded in the bot lane. Actually, not traded, just the ignite coming out from No Not November. Directed camera trying to take us away from the fun action there.
Yeah. Gank mid lane does come in from Iryuan. I'm gonna have trouble with that. Meanwhile, bot lane, the flash also from the Jhin as he flashes out of the E from Mordekaiser to avoid that. So
yeah,
it could be definitely a re-gank possibility here.
Good use of flash. Remember, kids, flash the first CC, and then you won't get hit by all the rest of the CC.
That's right.
And then you won't get spam pinged by your teammates.
That's right.
You probably still get spam pinged, but you won't be dead, which is the important thing. The important thing. Always flash the first CC when you're facing a team that has Leona stun, Misfortune slow.
Yeah.
Big trades coming out in the top
Meanwhile,
lane.
top lane, yeah. Really won out there by Big Diok Jimmy. He dodges the true damage on the way out. So it actually went fairly even, but bot lane, a lot of damage now coming onto literally Mike as well. Using the Never Move and the Deadly Flourish combo to lock somebody down, that's a lot of damage I could come out really fast.
Yeah, and even with the first blood gold, the top laner's itemization fairly even. Big Diok Jimmy going with the Doran's Blade, while literally Kamish has the Doran's Shield. So their trade should be pretty even. Meanwhile, in the jungle, the itemization is vastly different. Aruyan taking a kind of a better back, getting his Stalker's Blade, getting a longsword. Literally Garrett just now going back. He's got both of his Stalker's Blade components, but Aruyan back on the map with an early item advantage.
Yep.
Aruyan looking to pick up level 5 off his bot side camps. They have the Mountain Drake pinked. Trundle is a champion who can solo Drakes very, very early, so might look for an early Drake take from Aruyan. And I eat my words as he crosses into the top side.
Yep. Meanwhile, top lane, we're going to see literally Kamish has pulled Big Diok Jimmy down really, really low and is pushing him into his turret now. So we see Arion on the top side literally to cover for him against the 5.
Here comes the gank.
Yep, he pops the ult and goes in and gets a stun down. That's a lot of damage coming down, but he just slams him into the ground. Says, the ultimate health is not enough for you, my friend.
Come on and slam.
That's right.
Meanwhile,
bot side, we saw the smite secure from literally Garrett to get the Scuttle Crab. Seeing Elliot in the top side, I might try to go for this early Drake. Let's see. Elliot is actually going for the fight here against literally Kamish. He dodges out on the damage from the Haymaker. That's a lot. But he's only level 7 against level 5. The health regen is going to start coming in.
Oh!
Actually, flash away. The stun on the... Oh my god, the second punch. The left hander. Barely enough damage to save himself. We'll see now. Big Jack Jimmy goes in for the stun. He's going to try to kill him. He just ignites him and then he's going to walk out. Maybe? Nope, he just says keep going on it.
Now in the bot lane.
Probably a good idea that he didn't walk away there. Bot lane, meanwhile, flashes are exchanged as literally Mike actually has to flash away from all this return damage after the Swain never moves. So a lot of action here on the bot side. Double check. Looks like that was the first gank from literally Garrett that started that and forced the flash away from No Not November and the heal out of Master Fan. So that was the summoner advantage going down to the side of literally teaming.
Yeah, looking to revisit after that initial gank that blew Master Fan's flash around minute 5, minute 6. Master Fan's flash just about coming back up, so literally Garrett pretty active here while we were watching top lane. Eruyan looking like an easy kill against literally Kamish, but literally Kamish just kiting that fight out. Level 7 set versus level 5 Trundle is able to get the kill, then overstays for the second part of the wave. Big Diak Jimmy is able to come back into lane and kill literally Kamish. Meanwhile, on the bot side, literally Garrett takes the Mountain Drake, visits bot lane, gets a lot of sums blown out of Heroes of the Storm's bot lane. Action all over the map, yet we only have a 2-2 kill score right now. Some really, really exciting and fun stuff happening here on PMALs, yes.
Yeah, that's actually true. I totally missed the Drake take there and missed all the other action.
Yeah.
So,
And
meanwhile, after all the dust settles, it is, like you said, it's 2 kills, and the gold is only about 500, 600 difference. Meanwhile, on the top side, we see Big Jack Jimmy going in for a unfavorable trade as he eats all the pacemaker damage on the haymaker damage. Sorry. Oh, yeah.
yeah, like you said, the gold, pretty even, about a 600 lead right now on the side of Heroes of the Storm. That gold coming out onto Big Diak Jimmy for the first blood, helping contribute towards that. A slight farm advantage in both the mid and bot lanes. Very, very, very slim, though. The gold lead now trimming to about 200.
My game looks like it did the same as his was doing. Mine froze up there. I missed a bunch of stuff, I think.
I will also pause at 11:10.
Sorry about that. Yep, okay, I'm there now.
Okay, I may know when to unpause.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, it looks like there was a kill in the top lane. Out on because of my Trundle. Gotcha. Technical difficulties here for multiple people.
What time are you at right now?
30.
Okay.
Yeah, same. Okay.
All right.
So we do see now it is a little bit more of a gold lead for that kill. It's 800, about 900 gold there. So a little bit less than 1,000 on the side of Heroes of the Storm. It looks like some more coming as Big Jack Jimmy is getting a lot of work done on these tower plates top side.
Yeah, big kill coming through for Ruyan. This time down 3 levels, challenging literally Kamish. Ruyan level 6, literally Kamish level 9, 6-9, haha. But able to get the kill, and when Ruyan finally backs, he'll be able to have some nice itemization there. Looking to invade literal team names blue side. There's nothing there. He's gonna settle for the Rift Herald instead.
Yeah, he would have been seen on the ward or the Scuttle Crab, whatever was there, but there is no contest as Mordekaiser's all the way on the bot side, so that looks like that'll be a free Rift pick. unless literally Nate is able to get there in time to stop him. We'll see. I want to see bot lane.
Looks like there's some.
Looks like we cut out literally Garrett here, who's going to use his ultimate on the Swain. He's just going to pop his ult and kill him. I think he was dead no matter what he did there. Did cause Masterfan's flash again.
Interesting flash.
My directed camera didn't see anything that was going on top side, right? Did you or?
No, but I know that there was a collapse towards Rift Herald, and
oh, top side, we're gonna see Big Dak Jimmy actually pops the ultimate and decides to go in on Mish. He gets slammed into the ground now. The damage is coming in. Big Dak Jimmy is really low. He heals from the Q, but it's not gonna be enough. He pulls him back in and gets the kill. Very nicely done from literally Kamish. That's gonna make it 3-2 now on the top side.
Meanwhile, here's the Storm dropping. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think that's worth popping the stopwatch. I think you're dead no matter what you do there. But they did get the Drake for it, and oh my god, Elliot flashing away from the Leona ult to make sure he doesn't go down after the Drake.
Iruyan and Tom Nook both flashing away from the Leona ult. That's yeah, Heroes of the Storm dropping the Rift Herald mid as a distraction so they could walk over to Drake. They take that Cloud Drake, they're gonna have that ultimate cooldown. A juicy 10% going over to the side of Heroes of the Storm, and some plates going down in the mid turret.
Yeah, everybody loves those Cloud Drakes now.
The gold lead extending now to about 1.4k, 1.5k on the side of Heroes of the Storm. They pick up that Cloud Drake, which is again going to be that juicy 10% cooldown. Great for the Malzahar, great for the Swain. Those ults are going to be coming out more frequently, and at the same time, awesome to deny it from the side of Literal Team Name.
Yeah. I keep getting distracted by Stuart because he's talking. He's giving analysis even though he's not actually in the thing. So
some more trades coming out from top side.
He actually flashes for the slam and the slow, pops the ult, Big Got Jimmy, he flashes away, but he still gets pulled back by Mordecai, who ults him, and he's just gonna have to chase him down into the turret. Very nice pullback there to get him even after the Renekton flashed out, and he gets the kill under the turret for the top side. I'm gonna see now. The bot side from Heroes of the Storm did roam here into the mid lane for some reason, but they're gonna walk back bot. Actually taking the Scuttle Crab. A little extra gold there for the Jhin.
Yep, things still. Oh, the Solar Flare coming out
Solar
from
Flare.
literally Mike.
Stuart now is. Am I behind? No, I'm there. Yeah, I saw the Solar Flare, but I was like kind of in the middle of thinking of something else, so I didn't see it. I think we're fine.
What time are you at?
49, 50, 51.
Yep, same.
So
Okay.
I'm like half a second behind.
Yeah, things just staying kind of stagnant right now. Teams looking for an advantage, maybe to get first turret. No objectives coming up for the next few minutes. Looks like our next thing coming up is Rift Herald in a minute 40.
Yeah.
Some
Meanwhile, we're gonna
obligatory
see top
trading
side.
in the top lane.
Yeah. Literally Commish definitely feeling confident after the last couple has gone down on the action. Stepping up now, looking more for these trades. Also want to point out, so we do see in the itemization for Big Yak Jimmy, with the Blade of the Ruin King buffs, it looks like that's going to be the first item he takes here on the Renekton. Meanwhile, mid lane, we actually have the Trundle ultimate ticking down a little bit on Garrett, and Flash in there from the Echo, who's just going to get ulted by Malzahar, but then literally Garrett smartly ults him to cancel the Malzahar ult, and then they just clean it up. 2-0 in the mid lane on the side of literally team name.
Definitely.
Very nice counter gank there from Garrett.
Yeah, definitely an overstay. Here's the Storm looking to take that first turret. Aurelion moving forward, trying to zone literally Garrett off of it. Literally Nate shows up from base, flashes forward, gets Malzahar ulted. Malzahar gets Mordekaiser ulted, and that is where it kind of goes downhill for the side of Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, I think that turret was low enough. I think they could have just kind of let that go and not move that far forward for it, like literally Garrett is doing right now, from the same opposite side. Meanwhile, Malzahar's going to get ulted again by Malzahar. That is a low cooldown. He returns a lot of damage, but it's not enough. Yeah, we see mistakes, same mistake for both sides, only this one's going to be more costly because the Drake is up. So little team name reading for the turret again, and now missing out on a kill and on the objective here. And they're just going to 4-man this bot turret down maybe, but it does look like the little team name is on the way to its spawn, so they might be able to defend.
Flash forward,
flash forward from Elliot, who's just going to beat down literally Garrett with the club. Solar Flare coming out, beautiful bullet time combo there with the Misfortune. He kills one of them, and the fourth shot is flashed away for Leona. Meanwhile, here's literally Kamish, who's going to slam down the Renekton and slow Master Fan. He's not going to be able to get away. He flashes, and the pull actually pulls the Haymaker in for the kill. Meanwhile, another Malzahar ult comes down. It's not going to be enough to kill literally Stewart. Maybe the AIDS does finish him off. But
there was a chance for the
fight there
quad.
from Heroes of the Storm. Literally team name just beating him down.
Literally Kamish looking for the quad there. Oh, we got a disconnect from Nate. Add insult to injury, your team just got wiped, and the team who won the fight says, we're going to pause because we're having disconnect issues. You're having disconnect issues. We're having communication issues, I guess. No, not November. Pulling literally Kamish forward during the Haymaker channel. Just disastrous. No, don't pull him towards you so he can land a Haymaker. What a fight.
Yeah, definitely. So I didn't notice that literally Mike actually died as well. So I don't know what it was that killed him, because he flashed away from the Jin ultimate, and I thought he walked out okay. Maybe he had Ignite or something on him. But yeah, the rest of that fight, they thought they were good enough to just walk up after they got the early damage on literally Garrett and killed him. But the rest of literally team name responding beautifully and not able to withstand there once literally Kamish gets the ult in there.
Yeah.
Easy cleanup.
The combination of literally Mike and literally Stewart's ultimates, just that's exactly what you pick that lane for. Solar Flare into bullet time, done beautifully, so much damage coming out. Heroes of the Storm looking pretty tanky, maybe just a little overconfident that, hey, we can take this fight. Their ultimates are down. We got this, right? So they go forward, but the problem is that everyone is just kind of placed a little bit off. So Master Fan is a little bit behind. He can't quite get in there to do damage. Tom Nook is only a little bit in front of him. No Not November's trailing Master Fan, and slowly one by one they kind of trickle in, and literal team name is able to just clean it up since they were just a little bit better grouped.
Yeah, I think once you see that turn there, the Leona ult into the Misfortune ult, who is beating down your top lane, I think when you're Jin and you're Swain, you just hightail it out of there and just cut the losses.
So here we go. We're
your
jumping
front
back
line.
into game.
Yeah.
Literally, Nate still on the map, but just kind of standing still.
Standing
maybe
still?
still
Okay.
having some issues.
He's moving now, so maybe
All
we're
right.
all right.
It wouldn't be PMA LCS without some pausing.
What was that? You said your game froze? Okay.
Let us know what time the stream is at, and we'll coordinate.
I'm at 2030. I stopped it.
I will also stop at 2030. Are we all at 2030? Boom. Okay. So itemization coming out, as you said, Packer. The Bork coming out for Big Diak Jimmy. Looking like Aruyan also building a Bork. So with the changes coming out for that item, it's seeing some play here in PMA LCS. The Triforce finished for literally Kamish, moving on to the Tiamat, looking like a Titanic. Gonna come through. Oh, we got some trades on the top side.
Yeah, we do see literally Garrett just walking into Big Jimmy by himself, but he does have literally Nate behind him. Now literally Stewart is here, but Elliot is behind him. Big Jimmy does finally go down to literally Nate, and now it's just Irion by himself. Literally Garrett says, no 4v1, I'm gonna 1v1 this, puts him in the death realm. He does finish off the job. A quick 2-0 on the top side there. Just getting caught, I guess. Really good map movement from literally team name to recognize that opportunity.
Stu, what is stream at?
Sorry.
Boom. Good. Good. 21-28, 21-29. Yep. Great. So yeah, like you said, just well positioned 2 for 0. Going down to the bot side, Flash coming out for literal Kamish, trying to avoid the never move from No Not November. Looks like the gold difference now swinging in the side of literal team name. They've had that lead since getting the turnaround at mid turret when Heroes of the Storm kind of overstayed for that first turret mid. But Heroes of the Storm with the drag advantage. We have our next Infernal coming up in 1:50. Look for them to move into Soul Point with that that Drake. Yeah,
definitely a probably top of the list of the win condition here for Heroes of the Storm, I would say, after the last couple of fights. Infernal Drake is going to add a lot of burst damage, so that could be something that maybe they want to stall out for that or something.
If they can get to Infernal Soul and position themselves right in these fights with Iruyan and Big Diak Jimmy just frontlining, your Jhin is going to be doing a ton of burst damage with just his general build and that Infernal Soul. So yes, I think on the side of Heroes of the Storm, your win con right now is to stall out, position yourself well for these Drakes, try not to give too much to literal team name. Now for the side of literal team name, they really just have this run at you comp right now. They want to force fights. They want to create engage opportunities. Looks like the flashes are all coming up for the side of Heroes of the Storm, so they should hopefully not wedge themselves into any fights before this Drake comes up in 30 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams trying to get their vision controlled. So far, the river is controlled by Heroes of the Storm. Elliot's going to move forward and take a lot of damage. Wow. Baited by the ward. Elliot takes a ton of damage there. He's going to have to back off. Everybody actually kind of backs off. So,
here's that
engage. The Solar Flare whiffs completely, so that's going to be a big down there. Literally, Garrett puts Tom Nook inside the Death Realm. He's trying to 1v1 the Malzahar, who is not going to do it. Meanwhile, here goes Little Kamish. He slams into the backline, but he's all by himself. He's going to go down. Meanwhile, Bullet Time comes out to try to turn it around. A lot of damage from the Swain Elk coming. Meanwhile, Elliot and Master Fan are just going to beat down Lily Stewart, who's going to go down to the curtain call exactly the way they needed to fight that, and now the Drake is theirs. Beautiful job from Heroes of the Storm.
Really great work by Aruyan. He takes massive damage from that ward bait, like you mentioned, from the Mordekaiser and from the Misfortune. Rather than just retreating or backing and repositioning himself, he goes into the jungle. He clears a camp, I believe. He gets the Trundle passive, heals himself back up. He's ready for the fight. He comes in, and he is able to help clean up that fight at the end.
Yeah, again, just talking about how impactful the Solar Flare from Leona can be in a fight. It completely whiffed at the beginning of that, and you know, maybe the end of that might have been able to be turned around if that is still there, or if it hit people. Fighting into that choke point there in the jungle where literally Stewart couldn't really, and literally Nate couldn't really get to the back line, while literally Kamish ults in, and then he's all by himself. Sure, he probably did a lot of damage, but then 4v1 him, and they're able to turn it around. So,
yeah. And this is
the
second or third time that literally Kamish has ulted towards the back line of Heroes of the Storm, which in certain situations can be really effective. I think for the way that Heroes of the Storm is kind of front to backing these fights, literally Kamish should maybe look to get deep and ult someone back towards the back line of his team. Allowing literally Mike and literally Stewart to kind of pop the CC and do the damage on an isolated target, as opposed to, hey, everyone needs to run forward to get to me because I ulted myself away from you.
Yeah, for sure. If he's able to like curl around and maybe like ult the Jhin and they just instantly kill the Jhin, then that goes a huge part of their damage for the rest of the fight. So
Flash coming out from Tom Nook in the mid lane, that's going to be pretty huge in terms of the next big team fight that breaks out.
Okay, so fuck this. Sorry, my thing did it again. So I'm playing, but I'm a few seconds behind you.
I'll pause at 27.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, mid at 27. Gotcha. Okay. 58, 59, 27, 27 and 1.
Great. Ooh, this is an exciting amount of
curtain call coming in. Literally Stewart flashes away. Shot.
Happy feet.
Misses. Very nicely done there. Of course, Misfortune getting the passive move speed for W. Good dodging there, sidestepping.
Yep, and the Misfortune flash, hopefully in the next team fight, not quite as valuable as the Malzahar flash. Misfortune can kind of just sit in the back line and stay protected by her Leona, whereas Tom Nook on the Malzahar, you want to have that flash up. You're kind of a sitting duck if you ult someone. You lose the engage of flash ulting someone if it's a possibility. So not too bad to spend that flash from literally Stewart to avoid dying to the curtain call.
Yep, definitely. But we will see. That might be a flag there for a Big Diog Jimmy if he's able to kind of get a flank out and look for MF, knowing she doesn't have the flash. That could be something.
Walking over a ward, Big Diog Jimmy. Nice deep ward coming out from literal team name. And let's take a look at the gold quote-unquote advantage. The gold is exactly even right now. Heroes of the Storm bringing it back from about a 2,000 gold deficit about 5 minutes ago. These Drakes are huge for them. We have Soul coming up in 1 minute. Looks like they're just positioning for vision around Baron. Big Diog Jimmy caught out all
He is caught out, yep. He's gonna have to ult to try to stay alive. He does flash away from the from the Leona ult, sorry.
But he flashes inside the Death Realm. Nowhere to go.
I think he kind of flashed at like looked like he flashed at about the same time, but
Yeah.
regardless,
So
that
maybe-
is 2 ultimates there, the Leon ult and the Mordekaiser ult, that might not be up for the Drake. At least, well, Leon ult's kind of a low cooldown, so that one might be up. But, so that might be something they can try to take advantage of in the Drake fight.
But literal team name just strongly controlling this bot river. Looks like they're gonna deny Soul from Heroes of the Storm, stalling out this game just a little bit longer, unless we can see some sort of miracle play. Aurelion in the top jungle, just too far away to get down to Drake at this point.
They are here, but Drakes go down pretty quick nowadays, and that is a take there.
Whoa. Don't talk about Drakes that way.
No.
They don't go down quick. Yeah,
sorry.
Drakes aren't your
But
horse.
yeah, that is a thing that I have about teams thinking, oh, Drake's up in a minute, so in 55 seconds over there. Like, no, you have to be there before to set up and get your vision and all that. It's not something you can just walk at when it's spawning.
If you're not backed by the minute mark to optimize your itemization for a potential Drake fight, you're doing it wrong.
Topside, meanwhile, by the way, we do see a trade here. Not a trade. It was a trade. Your life for, well, I guess for nothing. That's not really a trade. Lulu Kamish is just completely owning the side lane matchup right now.
The level disadvantage, 17 to 15. Big Diak Jimmy just unable to match literally Kamish. And boom, we have such a great win condition. Literally Kamish, just stay in the side lane, do your thing. No one can 1v1 you right now. That is a big set.
Yeah, you really need Renekton to be getting into mid-game even, and I guess the CS is kind of even, but being down the kills, at this point, Renekton is never going to be able to stand up to the set.
It's the full item being down, right? And not even that, because literally Kamish has opted for the more expensive items, whereas Big Diak Jimmy rushes Bork, picks up Cleaver next. He has the Sterax components, but literally Kamish, Triforce, Titanic Hydra has the Sterax completed, tops it off with a Chainmail Vest and a Ruby Crystal. The itemization as well as the level difference is just too big right now.
Yeah, I think eventually you get to a point where Set is just too good in the side lane anyway, and I think with the early kills, Set just got there fast. So I don't know if any itemization at this point is going to help. Yep. So they're gonna have to look for something else. Heroes of the Storm.
Going. Heroes of the Storm just needing to play this safe. Like we were just talking about a few minutes ago, this next Drake could be Soul for you. It's up in 2 minutes 30. You want to keep literal team name off of the Baron and keep the damage to a minimum. You might have to give up an inhib turret. That's fine. You're playing for Soul at this point. And you're playing to just get those items in your inventory with that extra damage if you can get it.
Meanwhile, we see topside, literally Nate is by himself and he gets collapsed on, but he does a lot of November. And he ults back, but he doesn't quite get the execute and he flashes. Meanwhile, teleport is coming in from literally Kamish, and now it's a full 5-on-5 in the top side. No, not November getting out with his life, and he actually gets the flash from literally Nate and the teleport out of literally Kamish. So Summoner Spell advantage definitely on the side here of the Storm. Meanwhile, Big Diak Jimmy is just walking in here. He says, I'm not done fighting. He gets pulled back. Oh, but the suppression on the set is huge. He goes down. That's exactly what they needed. Death Run coming out. He puts Elliot in it for some reason. He's just been live. A lot of action coming down. Literally, Garrett.
Bullet time.
Coming down. Bullet time does a lot of work. Meanwhile, Nate finally does go down. Master Fan flashing forward and he gets the damage. Finally. Oh no, he didn't kill him. Oh my god. Finally, support goes down to the other
Quadra!
support. We see the Quadra. Tragedy there is Master Fan barely doesn't have enough damage to kill Louis Stewart. And then he walks backwards.
Post it to the page. The Quadra coming out for literally Stewart. That bullet time was huge. Excellent to turn the fight. Heroes of the Storm really starting off that fight in a manner that favors them, taking down literally Kamish after no one dies after a pretty well-designed skirmish in the top
Blue
lane.
team's turret
Literally
has been
Nate
destroyed.
catching No Not November, trying to catch him out. Swain comes up, says, "I got you." Echo says, "I'm 4 levels higher than you. I got you." That fight doesn't work out. Nobody dies. The TPs come through. Fight continues. They get literally Kamish down. That's when you need to walk away. You've taken down the raid boss, the level 18 set. Walk away. Instead, they push for the fight with no vision in the blue side of literal team name's jungle, and it ends up biting them in the butt.
Yeah, we do see now Drake is spawning, and literally team name has control of the river. Nate pushing in the mid wave a little bit now as both teams are looking for.
I think literal team name could have
They
probably just
gave up
burst that drag.
their control now.
Okay.
Now they take it back. Soulfire comes out. Bullet time actually gets canceled by the suppression, but still, it's a bad fight so far for literal team name. Actually, it's kind of. Meanwhile, Master Fan is taking out. He takes out literally Nate. Now he's gonna try to take out literally Stewart. He cancels the curtain call because literally Kamish was just wailing on him. Finally kills him, and now he's gonna look for literally Stewart. And one crit is enough.
Just do the Drake, Master Fan.
Solo the Drake. I'm sorry I blanked in the middle of that fight. There was too much.
These fights are pretty intense. There is a lot going on in these fights.
Yeah.
But it is going to be Soul going over to Heroes of the Storm. They have taken over that advantage due to just God. These fights are just going each way.
Yeah, it's very small things changing it on each side. I think even though Malzahar died pretty quickly after he ulted Misfortune, just the fact that he canceled the channel bullet time, I think was probably how they were able to stay in that fight, because otherwise that probably would have just wrecked the whole
Yeah, Soul gonna be so huge for the side of Heroes. If the trend continues, though, this next fight should go the way of literal team names. So,
That's true.
we'll see what happens here. Looking at itemization, everyone's just starting to get where they need to be. Jin almost at the full complete build. About one item down for some of the other members on the map here. A couple of QSSs coming out from the side of literal team name. No QSS coming out from the side of Heroes of the Storm. Which you might.
Really, Garrett is caught out now. He's just going to go down. Meanwhile, Slam coming in here from literally Kamish, who's a little bit late on the QSS. He's going to go to the massive burst from Jin. Bullet time kills everybody! Oh my god! Literally, Stewart, you beast! That looks like a complete disaster in the making. And literally, Stewart Pentas! Oh my word! One of the best ultimates I've ever seen.
Oh my god.
Oh, literally, Stewart,
I don't
you're
know.
a madman.
These bullet times are so clutch. And you look at that Misfortune's itemization, she is almost full build. That bullet time did so much damage. Doesn't do the quadra. Don't post it to the page, or just cut it early, I guess. I don't know. Damn. So, I think that's only the second penta of the split. I think we only had one during the regular season.
Sure.
Where is Riley when you need them, right?
Right.
And as was predicted, this fight went the way of literal teaming, but just a little late to the party from some of the members of Heroes of the Storm. Looking like literal team name's gonna start positioning, jockeying for this Baron.
Yeah, that fight, again, literally Kamish goes in by himself and he does some damage when they killed him, though. And then you're looking again like, wow, Set's gone. That could be the fight. And then...
the cheese bush!
dominating now from literally Stewart, as Swain did not have his warding buddy as he walked forward.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like they're just gonna forgo Baron and just run it down mid.
I think this is a mistake. You have the advantage. You have your ultimates up.
Yeah.
Should be on Baron right now.
I don't know. They are just gonna walk, get the in hit. Trundle is behind them. He might look for the flank. Pillar behind the MF or something. Meanwhile, literally Garrett actually puts Jin maybe into the death realm. It doesn't matter. He goes down. Bullet time this time. Pretty well kited out. So let's see how the fight goes after that. Literally Commish goes down to a huge 4-shot from Jin. Meanwhile, Elliot is just in the front line going man mode, smacking people with the club. He gets 2 kills, make it 3.
It's a 5 for 1.
It's a 5 for 1.
God. This game was 2 kills to 2 kills at 10 minutes. What happened?
I don't know.
What is happening? They realized, they said, this is not a PMA LCS match. We're not killing each other anymore. I demand blood.
Boy. Full LPL. Alright, so Baron secure.
We might be looking at
him pretty scary on this Trundle.
Yeah.
You don't kill him right away.
Time to troll. And he was trolling right into the back line. Great flash from Master Fan to get out of the bullet time to avoid any CC. He was able to just do the damage to the front line, aka literally Commish, of literal team name. Just a really well placed fight from everyone on the side of Heroes of the Storm.
Oh, damn it. My game paused again.
No more pausing, Packer.
It only does it for like 5 seconds.
Where are you at?
5, 6,
Alright,
7,
I'm at 41:20.
9, 10, 11.
You let us know when you're at 23, Packer.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23,
Perfect.
24, 25.
So, a positive that we can take out of this, we know Packer knows how to count. At least to 24, 25. So, his elementary school teachers did him right. We're good to go. Master Fan picking up.
Meanwhile, Tom Nook, you're not going to win a 1v1, probably. I don't know, the 8's doing a lot of damage. The Haymaker and another punch is enough to slam him down.
Yeah, good QSS coming out from literally Commish. Definitely worthwhile to have that in his itemization.
Yeah, meanwhile, bot side, we do see them pushing up onto the turret here. No, not remember. Looks like he's gonna get soloed out by literally Nate. No, the Zanya's there to make it out. Meanwhile, literally Stewart is behind them and he says, I'm just gonna pop you. Actually, literally Mike taking the kill there, but
have to wonder what the call was there from Heroes of the Storm. Why is your support solo pushing a side lane?
Well, Renekton was down there with him at first, and they had to push onto the turret, but he backed out and didn't follow. So
this looks like an easy Elder for little team name. Echo is in base. I think you just got to start it.
Yeah, there's the Malzahar TP who's up in 5 seconds.
Yeah, the death timer on Malzahar. They had position on the Elder with Malzahar at 15, and with this comp, with everyone at the levels that they're at, I don't think it takes that long to do Elder.
Should have been able to do it too.
Just started it. But I'm not playing in this game, so that's not my shot call to make. Heroes of the Storm able to get back on the map now. Look to contest the vision around this Elder Drake. I foresee a big
we
fight
just see the curtain call coming down from Jin there, who does nothing, and they walk out. Okay. I don't know what that was for.
Yeah.
But he can't attack.
It's a minute 10 cooldown. Minute 12 cooldown for him right now, so maybe a bit questionable there on trying to put some damage out dissuade literal team name.
Meanwhile, the bullet time here doesn't do that much yet, but it still does kill Lona November. Meanwhile, Big Jack Jimmy is suppression coming down to the little grenade who QSS's it, and he does go down to Big Jack Jimmy, who's in there. He gets a lot of AoE down. Meanwhile, Jin is left completely untouched until finally literally Commish stuns him, but it's not enough. Elliot is here. He's on a rampage. Fight is finished off by Master Fan with the deadly flourish.
Oh,
That was an
have
off
to
right
get
there.
on the Jin. You cannot leave this Jin to roam around, walking around the jungle, autoing who he pleases. The deadly flourishes, the fourth shots coming out, popping off on literal team name. They didn't even get his GA.
Right. Yeah, they completely took Swain out of the fight before it even started, and they still lost 4v5.
The Elder Drake going over to the side of Hero Storm. They have a 7k gold lead. They're very strong. It is Elder Drake. You know what that means, Twitch chat. Get your blahs ready.
Blah. Exactly like that. Gold lead is going to start to mean less and less as a lot of people are getting to their full builds here. On the side of Heroes of the Storm, Renekton and Swain are the only two without full item. Well, I guess, sorry, Trundle has a pink ward, so he still has an item to go. Sorry. I just saw the slot was taken up by a pink. Well, he did just fully buy a GA, so there you go.
Yeah. Set still looking to convert his QSS into a full item. Going to be that Merc Sim coming through. Unless he thinks that he doesn't need it and there's something maybe a little bit more optimal. Maybe a Spirit Visage or something could come through.
I think the QSS is big because we've seen before where he has gotten picked off by the Malzahar ultimate and just killed before he could do anything. So I think it's a good pickup.
I just don't know if the other stats on
still needs a full item and a half too. Takes a lot of Jin damage. Oh my god, the blood coming in here. They're just gonna walk it in there. No Baron needed.
Literally, Commish still in bot lane, just now getting back to base.
Elliot's going forward. He ults somebody. Misfortune is already dead. That's probably gonna be the end of it. Literally, Commish trying to do what he can. He's going in here. He gets a lot of damage down, but it's enough against an Elder Drake all by yourself. Big Jack Jimmy going in here. He's looking to Blah on some people too. He's actually gonna go down, but it's not gonna matter. The very nice end to the game here coming out for Heroes of the Storm. Massive fights back and forth all game, very entertaining, but in the end, they're the ones who are able to secure the victory for
Blah. That's all you gotta say, I guess. Blah. Let's see him in chat. Blah. We will only do player of the series, so we will hold off on the poll. Remember, y'all, this is a best of 3, so look for literal team name to come back and push us to a third game. We're gonna cut the stream here for probably for VOD purposes, and then we'll be back with game 2 in a few minutes.